He's going to help you.
Nobody can help me.
Can you tell me why you killed those puppies?
In 1955, Rebel Without a Cause made its debut in theaters across the nation, directed by Nicholas Ray, and utilizing the innovative CinemaScope format. The film's casting process was not without its drama. A pivotal moment occurred when Dennis Hopper, who was auditioning for a role, was involved in a car crash. This incident not only affected him, but also had unexpected consequences for Natalie Wood. At the time, Wood was vying for the role of Judy, a character that would become iconic in the film. The crash led to a series of events that ultimately shifted the dynamics of the casting process. With Hopper sidelined due to his injuries, the producers began to reconsider their options. Wood's talent and screen presence became more apparent, and she seized the opportunity to showcase her abilities. As the casting decisions unfolded, it became clear that the unfortunate accident had inadvertently paved the way for Wood to secure the role that would define her career and leave a lasting impact on cinema. The intertwining of fate and circumstance in Hollywood often leads to unexpected outcomes, and this incident was no exception. The film features a remarkable cast led by James Dean, Sal Mineo, and Natalie Wood, who each brought depth to their characters. Dean's portrayal of Jim Stark, a troubled teenager, became iconic, capturing the angst and rebellion of youth. Sal Mineo played Plato, a sensitive and lonely boy who seeks acceptance and friendship, while Natalie Wood embodied Judy, a girl caught between her desire for independence and her need for connection. Director Nicholas Ray had a unique vision for the film, aiming to explore the lives of affluent teenagers rather than the typical portrayal of juvenile delinquents from poorer backgrounds. He wanted to tell a story that resonated with the struggles of young people who felt disconnected from their parents and society. This Romeo and Juliet-style narrative highlighted the emotional turmoil and existential crises faced by these privileged teens, making it a groundbreaking film in its genre. Ray's approach allowed for a deeper exploration of themes like identity, family conflict, and the search for belonging, setting Rebel Without a Cause apart from other films of its time. The combination of a talented cast and Ray's innovative vision created a lasting impact on cinema and youth culture. They sought any outlet to express their disillusionment and anger, reflecting the struggles of youth in a changing society. The director of Rebel Without a Cause was deeply committed to achieving a sense of realism in the film. He believed that authenticity was crucial to connect with the audience and portray the raw emotions of the characters. To accomplish this, he consulted with experts in various fields, including psychology and youth culture, to ensure that every aspect of the film resonated with truth. This dedication to realism was evident in the way the characters interacted, the settings they inhabited, and the conflicts they faced. The director wanted to capture the essence of teenage rebellion and the complexities of family dynamics, making the film a poignant reflection of the era. By pushing for accuracy in every scene, he created a powerful narrative that spoke to the hearts of many, allowing viewers to see themselves in the struggles of the characters. The film's impact was profound, as it opened up conversations about the challenges faced by young people, making it a timeless classic.
Plato, what is it, Chickie Run?
James Dean's intense performance in Rebel Without a Cause is a significant factor in the film's lasting impact on cinema, and its portrayal of juvenile delinquency. His character, Jim Stark, embodies the struggles of youth, grappling with feelings of alienation and the search for identity. Dean's ability to convey deep emotional turmoil resonates with audiences, making his performance both powerful and relatable. The film captures the essence of teenage angst, and Dean's portrayal is at the heart of this exploration. The direction by Nicholas Ray also plays a crucial role in shaping the film's narrative and visual style. Ray's bold choices create a vivid backdrop for Dean's performance, enhancing the themes of rebellion and conflict. The combination of Dean's raw talent and Ray's innovative direction results in a film that not only addresses the issues of its time, but also speaks to generations that follow. Rebel Without a Cause remains a touchstone in film history, largely due to the contributions of James Dean, whose legacy continues to influence actors and filmmakers alike.
You should have heard him earlier.
The impact of James Dean's death on the film Rebel Without a Cause was profound and immediate. Just 2 weeks before the movie's release, Dean tragically lost his life in a car accident. This shocking event turned the film into a must-see picture, as audiences were drawn to it, not only for its story, but also to witness the last performance of a rising star. Dean's portrayal of Jim Stark resonated deeply with young viewers, capturing the struggles of adolescence and the search for identity. His untimely death added a layer of tragedy to the film, making it a poignant reflection on youth and rebellion. The combination of Dean's magnetic screen presence and the circumstances surrounding his death elevated Rebel Without a Cause to classic status. It became a cultural touchstone, symbolizing the angst and disillusionment of a generation. The film's themes of alienation and the quest for belonging struck a chord, ensuring its place in cinematic history. The legacy of James Dean, intertwined with this film, continues to influence filmmakers and audiences alike.
Is this what it's like to love somebody?
The story behind Rebel Without a Cause traces back to a decade before the film's release in 1955. It originates from a book of the same name written by Dr. Robert Linder, published in 1944. This book serves as a case study focusing on a young man named Harold, who was an inmate at the Lewisburg Federal Penitentiary in Pennsylvania. Dr. Linder's work delves into the psychological and social factors that contributed to Harold's troubled life, exploring themes of rebellion, identity, and the struggles of youth in a changing society. The book paints a vivid picture of the challenges faced by young people during that era, highlighting issues such as family dynamics, peer pressure, and the quest for belonging. These elements resonated deeply with audiences, making the transition from page to screen a compelling one. The film adaptation took these themes and brought them to life through the character of Jim Stark, played by James Dean, who embodies the restless spirit of youth and the search for meaning in a world that often feels alienating. The connection between the book and the film underscores the timeless nature of these struggles, making Rebel Without a Cause a significant cultural touchstone that continues to be relevant today.
Run away when you want them. Like being Plato's friend when nobody else liked him.
Warner Brothers recognized the potential of the story behind Rebel Without a Cause and took significant steps to bring it to the screen. In early 1946, they acquired the rights to the book that inspired the film. This decision was driven by the studio's belief that the themes of teenage angst and rebellion resonated with the youth of the time. After purchasing the rights, Warner Brothers engaged several screenwriters to adapt the book into a screenplay. However, despite the initial excitement, the project did not progress as quickly as anticipated. It remained dormant for a period, reflecting the challenges of translating the complex emotions and societal issues presented in the book into a compelling film narrative. The delay allowed for the cultural landscape to evolve, setting the stage for a more impactful release when the film finally debuted in 1955. The eventual production would go on to become a landmark in cinema, capturing the struggles of a generation and solidifying its place in film history. As the 1950s unfolded, a notable shift occurred in American cinema, particularly with the emergence of films that focused on the lives of rebellious teenagers. This trend was marked by the release of influential black and white films that captured the struggles and defiance of youth. One significant film was The Wild One, released in 1953, which showcased the raw energy and angst of young bikers. Following closely was Blackboard Jungle in 1955, a film that delved into the challenges faced by students in a troubled high school, highlighting issues of delinquency and authority. Mr. Nicholas Ray, a keen observer of this cultural phenomenon, recognized the growing interest in stories centered around juvenile delinquents. His fascination with this theme led him to explore the complexities of teenage life, ultimately culminating in the creation of Rebel Without a Cause. This film not only reflected the societal concerns of the time, but also resonated deeply with audiences, capturing the essence of youthful rebellion and the search for identity. The influence of these 50s teen films laid the groundwork for future cinematic portrayals of adolescence, shaping how young people were represented on screen and how their struggles were understood by society.
Like you were the hero in the China Sea.
In 1954, the creative process for Rebel Without a Cause began when a writer brought an intriguing idea to Warner Brothers. This writer had previously worked on an adaptation called Blind Run, The studio recognized the potential in this concept, and saw an opportunity to merge it with their existing property, Rebel Without a Cause. This combination sparked interest as it aligned with the themes of youth rebellion and the struggles of adolescence that were becoming increasingly relevant in American culture. The collaboration allowed for a deeper exploration of the emotional turmoil faced by teenagers during that era. The script development involved refining characters and dialogue to resonate with the audience, capturing the essence of youthful angst and the search for identity. The synergy between the original idea and the existing material ultimately contributed to the film's lasting impact and its status as a classic in cinema history. The careful crafting of the script laid the groundwork for a powerful narrative that would speak to generations. The director took many liberties with the story, setting Rebel Without a Cause apart from other popular delinquent films of the time. While many films focused on teenagers from low-income backgrounds, this film chose to portray teens from comfortable, stable homes. This unique approach allowed the director to explore themes of disillusionment and anger that were not typically addressed in films about youth rebellion. The characters, despite their seemingly privileged lives, grapple with deep emotional struggles and a sense of alienation. They are not just rebelling against their circumstances, but are also expressing frustration with their families and the societal expectations placed upon them. This perspective highlights that discontent can exist even in seemingly perfect environments. The film's portrayal of these affluent teens challenges the audience to consider the complexities of youth and the pressures they face, making it a poignant commentary on the human experience. The emotional depth and relatable struggles of the characters resonate with viewers, inviting them to reflect on their own lives and the societal structures that shape them. The director's choice to focus on this demographic adds layers to the narrative, making it a timeless exploration of youth, identity, and the quest for meaning in a confusing world.
I said it was a matter of honor. Remember?
With that goal in mind, the filmmakers set out to develop Rebel Without a Cause. Initially, the vision for the film leaned towards a B-movie style, which would have suited a black and white format. This approach aimed to capture a grittier, more raw aesthetic that was common in many films of that era. However, as the project progressed, the decision was made to shift to color and cinemascope. This change transformed the film into a vibrant visual experience that is now iconic. It is difficult to imagine the film without the striking red jacket worn by James Dean, which became a symbol of youthful rebellion and individuality. The color not only enhanced the visual appeal, but also allowed for a deeper emotional connection with the characters. The bright hues contrasted sharply with the themes of angst and disillusionment, making the film stand out in the cinematic landscape of the 1950s. The decision to embrace color and cinemascope ultimately contributed to the film's lasting impact and its status as a classic in American cinema.
Come back in the morning, will you please, son?
We can't wait.
You ever been booked before?
Initially, the production of Rebel Without a Cause began with the intention of shooting the film in black and white. This choice was common at the time, but the filmmakers were also using a format called CinemaScope, which allowed for a wider screen presentation. The director faced challenges in filling the expansive frame effectively, leading to frustration during the filming process. As the production progressed, it became clear that all CinemaScope films required a licensing agreement that mandated the use of color. This revelation prompted Warner Brothers to make a strategic decision to switch the film's format from black and white to color. This change not only resolved the director's issues with framing, but also enhanced the visual appeal of the film. The decision to embrace color was a smart move, as it allowed Rebel Without a Cause to stand out visually and contributed to its lasting impact on cinema. The vibrant colors added depth to the characters and their emotional struggles, making the film more engaging for audiences. The director and James Dean both placed a lot of emphasis on the realism of each moment in the film. Dean's method acting meant that he wanted to place himself in the most authentic situations that he could come up with. This approach to acting was not just about delivering lines, it was about immersing himself in the character's emotional landscape. The film often explores themes of teenage angst, rebellion, and the search for identity, which resonated deeply with audiences. To achieve this authenticity, Dean engaged in real physical violence during some of his scenes. This commitment to realism sometimes led to him getting hurt while filming. The intensity of his performances was matched by the raw energy of the film's narrative, which depicted the struggles of youth in a post-war society. The emotional weight of the story was enhanced by Dean's willingness to push boundaries, making the viewer feel the pain and confusion of his character. This dedication to realism not only defined Dean's career, but also left a lasting impact on the film industry, influencing future generations of actors and filmmakers. The film's portrayal of real-life struggles and conflicts made it a landmark in cinematic history, showcasing the power of authentic performances in storytelling.
This is fine.
During the filming of Rebel Without a Cause, a notable incident occurred that highlighted the intense emotions and dedication of the actors involved. In one particular scene, James Dean, portraying the troubled character Jim Stark, became so immersed in his performance that he pounded his fist on the desk in the police station with great force. This moment of raw emotion was meant to convey the frustration and anger of his character. However, Dean's passion led to an unfortunate injury. He broke bones in his hand during the scene. This incident not only showcased Dean's commitment to his role, but also posed a challenge for the film's director, Nicholas Ray. With Dean's hand injured and bandaged, the director had to creatively work around the injury while continuing to film. This situation added an unexpected layer to the production process, as the crew had to find ways to shoot scenes that would not reveal the bandages. The dedication of the cast and crew to the film's authenticity and emotional depth was evident, even in the face of such challenges. The incident became a part of the film's legacy, illustrating the lengths to which actors would go to bring their characters to life.
What do you think?
During the filming of Rebel Without a Cause, a notable incident occurred involving a switchblade fight scene. The filmmakers decided to use real switchblades to enhance the authenticity of the moment, but they took precautions to ensure the safety of the actors. They placed padding under the shirts of the performers to minimize the risk of injury. Despite these safety measures, the intensity of the scene led to an unexpected accident. While shooting the fight, James Dean, who played the lead role, suffered an actual cut to his ear. The injury was serious enough that the director immediately called for a stop to the filming. This incident highlighted the risks involved in creating such raw and emotional scenes, especially in a film that aimed to capture the struggles of youth and rebellion. The dedication of the cast and crew to portray these intense moments was evident, but safety remained a priority, leading to a brief halt in production to address Dean's injury. The switchblade fight incident became a memorable part of the film's history, showcasing both the passion of the actors and the potential dangers of their craft.
I don't know what to do anymore except maybe die. I mean, if he had guts to not...
James Dean's reaction to a specific incident on the set of Rebel Without a Cause was intense and passionate. When the director decided to stop the action during a crucial scene, Dean became furious. He felt that the momentum they had built was essential to capturing the raw emotion and energy of the moment. Dean expressed his frustration clearly, stating that they were just getting what they wanted from the scene. He insisted that he would call for a cut if something was truly wrong, but he wanted the director to never halt the action again without a valid reason. His anger was so profound that he walked off the set, needing to be coaxed back to continue filming. This incident highlighted Dean's commitment to his craft and his desire for authenticity in his performance. His strong feelings about the creative process reflected his dedication to the role and the film itself, showcasing the passion that made him an iconic figure in cinema.
Don't forget.
Have some cigars?
As filming began for the project, the relationship between the director and James Dean evolved into something deeper than a typical director-actor dynamic. The director dedicated significant time to understanding Dean, going beyond mere professional interactions. They spent time together in New York, where they bonded over drinks, sharing stories, and experiences that helped to build trust and camaraderie. This connection was crucial for the director, as he sought to capture the raw emotion and complexity of Dean's character in the film. Their lengthy rehearsal sessions took place at the director's bungalow in Chateau Marmont, a setting that provided a relaxed atmosphere for creativity. These rehearsals allowed them to explore the nuances of the script and the characters, fostering a collaborative spirit. The director's commitment to knowing Dean on a personal level enriched the film, as it brought authenticity to Dean's performance. This unique bond ultimately contributed to the film's lasting impact and the iconic status of both the director and Dean in cinematic history.
Killed him. Good look. And I can't.
When the production of Rebel Without a Cause began, James Dean's passion for method acting significantly influenced the creative process. His dedication to the craft led the director to grant him an unusually large share of creative control over every scene. This level of control was remarkable for the time, as it allowed Dean to shape the film in ways that were not typical in Hollywood. He would often dictate the pace and tone of the scenes, guiding his fellow actors on how to deliver their lines and interact with him. This approach created a unique dynamic on set, as Dean's intense commitment to authenticity pushed everyone to explore deeper emotional connections within their performances. His influence extended beyond mere dialogue. It affected the overall atmosphere of the film, making it a raw and genuine portrayal of teenage angst and rebellion. Dean's ability to mold the scenes contributed to the film's lasting impact and helped establish it as a classic in American cinema. The collaborative yet intense environment fostered by Dean's creative control allowed the film to resonate with audiences, capturing the struggles of youth in a way that felt real and relatable. The result was a groundbreaking film that not only showcased Dean's talent, but also changed the landscape of acting in Hollywood. The casting process for Rebel Without a Cause was a remarkable journey that emphasized the film's commitment to realism. The filmmakers sought authenticity not just in the lead roles, but also in the supporting cast. To achieve this, they invited a large group of young actors, numbering between 300 and 500, to Warner Brothers' backlot. These aspiring actors arrived with their own cars, eager to secure a role in the film. This unique approach allowed the filmmakers to see how these young individuals embodied the spirit of the characters they were meant to portray. As the selection progressed, the initial group was narrowed down to a few dozen actors. The director was particularly insistent on maintaining a sense of realism throughout the casting process. This meant that the actors needed to not only look the part, but also bring genuine emotions and experiences to their roles. The effort to find the right fit for each character was intense, as the filmmakers believed that the authenticity of the performances would resonate with audiences. This dedication to realism in casting played a crucial role in the film's lasting impact and connection with viewers. During the casting process for Rebel Without a Cause, the director employed a unique and somewhat deceptive method to gauge the actors' abilities. He instructed them to engage in a fight, simulating a real gang confrontation. The actors were told that the scene would involve actual fights, with cars getting damaged and people potentially getting hurt. This intense setup created an atmosphere of authenticity, pushing the actors to tap into their emotions and instincts. After the auditions, the cast members were eager to see the footage captured during this dramatic test. They anticipated thrilling scenes that showcased their raw performances. However, they were met with a shocking revelation: there had been no film in the camera at all. The director had orchestrated the entire scenario without any intention of recording it. This trick not only tested the actors' commitment, but also left them with a sense of bewilderment, realizing they had been part of a psychological experiment rather than a straightforward audition process. The experience became a memorable anecdote in the history of the film, highlighting the lengths to which the director would go to find the right talent for such a groundbreaking movie.
Stop!
8 o'clock? Yeah.
As the casting process for Rebel Without a Cause unfolded, the director faced significant challenges in finding the right actress to portray Judy, the girlfriend of the rebellious gang member. Judy's character is crucial, as she is drawn to Jim's defiant spirit, making the role essential to the film's emotional core. Several prominent actresses were considered for this part. Among the top contenders were Debbie Reynolds, known for her charm and talent, and Carol Baker, who had a strong presence in dramatic roles. Lois Smith was also a studio favorite, bringing a unique quality that could resonate with the character's complexities. However, the director had reservations about casting Jane Mansfield, despite her popularity at the time. He felt she did not embody the depth and allure that Judy required. This struggle to find the perfect Judy highlighted the challenges of casting in Hollywood during the 1950s, where the right fit for a character could make or break a film's success. The search for Judy became a pivotal moment in the film's development, reflecting the broader themes of youth, rebellion, and the quest for identity that the movie ultimately explores.
Stand up. I'll stand up with you. I'll try and be...
Initially, Natalie Wood was not considered for a role in Rebel Without a Cause. The film's director had reservations about casting her due to her early career. At that time, she was known primarily as an innocent child star, which shaped her public image. This reputation made the director hesitant to see her in a more complex and rebellious role. He worried that audiences would struggle to accept her as a troubled teenager, a character that required depth and a sense of turmoil. Despite these concerns, Wood's talent and ability to convey emotion eventually won over the filmmakers. She had already demonstrated her acting skills in various films, but the challenge was to break free from the typecasting that came with her earlier roles. As the casting process continued, it became clear that Wood had the potential to bring a unique perspective to the character of Judy. Her performance would ultimately contribute to the film's exploration of youth angst and rebellion. The decision to cast her was a turning point, not just for the film but also for Wood's career. She successfully transitioned from her image as a child star to a more mature actress, showcasing her range and depth. This casting choice highlighted the complexities of youth and the struggles that come with it, making Rebel Without a Cause a timeless classic.
Oh, this is cute.
Big, tough character. You don't...
After the car crash incident, she found herself in a police station alongside Dennis Hopper, who was also her co-star in Rebel Without a Cause, and with whom she was romantically involved. The crash was a significant moment in her life, not just for the accident itself, but for the way it intertwined with her career. While waiting at the station, she took the bold step of calling the film's director, Ray, to come and pick her up. This decision showed her determination and willingness to take charge of her situation. When Ray arrived, she shared an interesting detail with him. One of the police officers had referred to her as a juvenile delinquent, a term that resonated with the themes of the film they were working on. With a mix of humor and seriousness, she asked Ray if this incident meant she had earned her part in the movie. This moment highlighted her connection to the character she was set to portray, and the rebellious spirit that defined the film. The incident not only marked a turning point in her life, but also added a layer of authenticity to her role in Rebel Without a Cause, as she was living out the very essence of the youthful rebellion that the film sought to capture.
Bye, Mom.
Goodbye, dear.
Listen, young.
Ray gave in and cast her in the film, leading to her eventual nomination for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance. The studio had initially considered Tab Hunter for the role of Jim Stark, the troubled teenager at the center of the story. However, director Nicholas Ray was captivated by James Dean, who had not yet made a significant impact in Hollywood at that time. Dean had already filmed his role as Caleb in East of Eden, and Ray had seen some early screenings of that film. He was deeply impressed by Dean's raw talent and unique screen presence. This admiration led Ray to pursue Dean for the lead role in Rebel Without a Cause. Dean's portrayal of Jim Stark would go on to define a generation and solidify his status as a cultural icon. The casting choices made by Ray not only shaped the film, but also influenced the trajectory of both actors' careers, highlighting the importance of vision and instinct in filmmaking.
Is that meaning me? What? Chicken.
Yes. You shouldn't.
However, there was another one of Dean's soon-to-be legendary films that was standing in the way, and that was Giant, which was all set to start shooting at the same time that would conflict with Rebel's production. The clash of schedules created a significant challenge for the filmmakers. James Dean was at the height of his career, and both films were highly anticipated. Rebel Without a Cause was set to explore the struggles of youth and the search for identity, while Giant promised to showcase a sweeping epic about Texas ranchers and the changing American landscape. The overlap in production schedules meant that Dean would have to choose between two iconic roles that would define his legacy. This situation highlighted the pressures faced by actors in Hollywood, especially when they were in high demand. The decision was not just about which film to prioritize, it was about the direction of Dean's career and the impact each role would have on his image. Rebel Without a Cause was a groundbreaking film that would resonate with audiences, while Giant offered a chance to work with legendary director George Stevens and co-stars Elizabeth Taylor and Rock Hudson. The tension between these two projects underscored the complexities of the film industry during that era, where timing and opportunity could shape an actor's future in profound ways. As the production teams for both films navigated the scheduling conflict, it became clear that the resolution would not only affect Dean, but also the overall landscape of cinema in the 1950s. The eventual outcome of this conflict would leave a lasting mark on film history, as both movies would go on to become classics in their own right, each reflecting different aspects of American culture and the human experience. The legacy of James Dean was intertwined with these films, and the choices made during this time would echo through the decades, influencing generations of filmmakers and actors alike. Then an unseen development happened that changed everything. Elizabeth Taylor was pregnant, which meant the film had to be delayed until June of 1955. This unexpected turn of events had significant implications for the cast and crew involved in the production. The delay allowed James Dean, who was already gaining fame for his talent and charisma, to take on another iconic role. This opportunity would ultimately define his legend more than any other. During this time, Dean was able to immerse himself in a character that resonated deeply with the youth of the era. The role he took on became a symbol of teenage angst and rebellion, capturing the struggles of a generation. The film's themes of identity, family conflict, and societal expectations struck a chord with audiences, making it a cultural touchstone. As the production of Rebel Without a Cause resumed, the anticipation surrounding the film grew. The delay, initially seen as a setback, transformed into a moment of serendipity for Dean, allowing him to solidify his status as a Hollywood icon. The film would go on to leave a lasting impact on cinema and popular culture, forever linking Dean's legacy to the character he portrayed. Thanks to the success of East of Eden, James Dean's career was on a remarkable trajectory. By the spring of 1955, audiences were captivated by his performance, and the early screenings of Rebel Without a Cause only heightened his appeal. This film showcased Dean's talent and charisma, solidifying his status as a cultural icon. His portrayal of Jim Stark, a troubled teenager navigating the complexities of adolescence, resonated deeply with young audiences. The character's struggles with identity, family issues, and societal expectations mirrored the feelings of many teenagers at the time. As the summer progressed, Dean's popularity soared, and by September of 1955, he was on the verge of complete megastardom. Recognizing his immense star power, Warner Brothers made a strategic decision to lock him into a long-term contract. This move was aimed at harnessing his growing influence in Hollywood and ensuring that he would continue to be a leading figure in the film industry. The combination of his raw talent and the studio's backing set the stage for a lasting legacy in cinema.
Hi.
You know anything about this?
No more than you do.
There's a kid in there.
On September 30th, James Dean tragically died in a car crash at the age of 24, just weeks before Rebel Without a Cause was set to premiere in theaters. His untimely death shocked fans and the film industry alike, as he had become a symbol of youthful rebellion and angst. Dean's performance in the film solidified his status as a cultural icon, but the world would never see how his career might have evolved. Sadly, he was not the only cast member to face a tragic fate. Sal Mineo, who played a significant role in the film, met a violent end when he was murdered outside his Los Angeles apartment on February 12, 1976. He was only 37 years old. The film's leading lady, Natalie Wood, also faced a mysterious and untimely death. On November 29, 1981, she drowned in the waters off Catalina Island at the age of 43. These tragic events cast a shadow over the film, marking it not just as a classic of American cinema, but also as a reminder of the fleeting nature of life and the heavy toll of fame. The stories of these young stars resonate deeply, leaving a lasting impact on audiences and the film industry.
Do you have a nickname?
Plato. He was a Greek philosopher.
There is not a movie that defines a decade like this movie does. Rebel Without a Cause captures the essence of teenage angst and rebellion in the 1950s. The film stars James Dean as Jim Stark, a troubled youth struggling to find his place in a world that seems indifferent to his pain. His character resonates with many young people who feel misunderstood and isolated. The film's portrayal of family dynamics, peer pressure, and the search for identity struck a chord with audiences at the time, and continues to do so today. The cinematography and direction by Nicholas Ray add depth to the story, making it visually compelling. The iconic scenes, such as the knife fight and the famous car crash, are etched in cinematic history. The performances of Natalie Wood and Sal Mineo further enhance the film's emotional impact, showcasing the complexities of young love and friendship. Rebel Without a Cause is not just a film. It is a cultural touchstone that reflects the struggles of youth. Its themes of rebellion, love, and the quest for belonging remain relevant, making it a timeless classic. Go back and watch Rebel Without a Cause. You'll be impressed with the quality of this project.
Keep it? Well, what do you think?